welcome to Eternal Mooncast, a streaming show about deep dives into all things Sailor Moon, from fan theories to hidden lore to full character studies. We cover everything magical in the Mooniverse. I'm your host Michi, and with me is this month's co-host Relia.
Before we dive into this month's show, a quick Mooney disclaimer. We would like to remind everyone that these are just our personal opinions. We do not in any way represent Toei or the Sailor Moon intellectual property. We just really like to talk about Sailor Moon. If you'd like to jump to a specific topic from tonight's show, timestamps are in the description. So, from one season to the next, Sailor Moon's villains and their henchmen are known for their creepy, otherworldly evil headquarters. But whose secret lair is worth a weekend getaway, and whose dark domain is dying for an interior decorator's touch? Join us as we sneak inside the hidden bases of Sailor Moon's villains and rate the best and the worst. So tonight's special guest is going to be Lady Chapell, and we have put together, I've gone through all of the villains that I can come up with and pulled as many images as I can of their evil lairs. We are going to go through them and we are going to decide which ones are it and which ones are very much not it.
It's gonna
And
be fun!
we are going to go in order of each of the lairs and images that I was able to pull of them, talk about what are their positives, what are their negatives. We're going chronologically. So we are starting with Queen Beryl, and we are starting looking at her lair in the Negaverse. We get this establishing shot here. Here you can see Jadeite. And in the back, what you can see is that her interior chamber, I think it's positive here, is that she clearly has like hundreds of Yoma in the background that you can see. So this is a very spacious area. I think that it shows that I think a positive of the Dark Kingdom is that it really can accommodate large groups of people. This would be good for entertaining, for hosting parties. I think that's a positive. There's a shine to this floor. This implies this is maybe a marble, some sort of a polished stone. That's maybe a positive feature we can look at. And then I think crucially, if you look way in the background, what is that? That is a very large water feature. That is a waterfall wall all the way in the back, just covering the whole wall of this area. That's pretty impressive. I think there's probably some dollars there. What do you guys
Beryl is
think? Do you
bougie.
like this receiving room?
I think also for me, it's like the floor. Like it's definitely marble. There's light. Like I think this is like a very powerful statement because this is the person that Queen Beryl wants to talk to. It reminds me of, I think Michi will understand this. This reminds me of K-pop Demon Hunters. Like it just has that vibe. It has that vibe.
When you really want to put a minion on the spot, you can do that here.
Yes, I love it.
So I think negatives, I really think lighting is to be desired
Yes.
here. This is a pretty dark
Yeah.
area. I like this is the positive or the spaciousness. The negatives are there's no furniture whatsoever. There's very little that you can see, and there's nothing in the way of decoration. So it's a very sparse area, and I feel that it could use some sprucing up.
Yes.
Let's look at the next image. So here we have, this is Beryl's chamber where she communes with Queen Metalia. And what you can see here is that there are a lot of naturally forming rock structures. How does this one make you guys feel? How do you feel about this as an evil lair? Would you want something like this? Would you not want something
I'm
like
like,
this?
girl, why are you in a ball gown with a long dress whenever you're in rock?
It's like that hair is, I don't know, like that floor has to be hard though. Like that
be
hard.
And dirty. I think this would be, so obviously a naturally occurring layer like this would be really hard to maintain. That beautiful dress is going to be constantly covered in dust. I think that's a real concern as far as a layer.
Yes.
Then we've got, how do you want to interpret this? Is
a
that
river of lava?
a couch, a bed, or is it just a big tongue of lava?
Probably.
This is very much a statement.
No, Sorrel
we
cosplay
have-
got me dying.
I
You got
love it. I
real
love
quick.
it. I love it.
Real cosplay says, I don't really think this fits her, but given Pocket Rock Knights, I think she's going for a theme.
Yes.
Yeah, she's got the stalagmites and stalactites going. So this is a statement. as far as statuary goes, because you can see Beryl right here at the bottom. She's very small. This is massive. This overtakes the entire area. So this is certainly, as a central decorative piece, I think this would draw the attention of your guests. How does it make you guys feel? Would you want this in your evil lair?
No. Like, for me, it's like, I don't even know where to even look at. It's just like the evil eye, like, maybe that would be kind of cool, but the bottom, it just doesn't hit for me. I don't know what is with the red and the orange. I don't even know where to begin with that. I can say the eye is cool though. And then there's like some waterfall on the bottom. I don't know what about that, but
Michi, what do you think? Does it speak to you?
Not really.
I don't think the skull is my favorite. If you look at the sort of the stalactites that are happening here that are maybe also symbolizing teeth, this creature could have done with some orthodontia. I think that this is certainly a conversation starter, but it's not a conversation that I would want to have in my evil domain.
Yeah.
So not my favorite.
no.
But then we have this healing pod / tanning bed ? And that feels like a feature to me.
I can see it. I can see
I
it.
like the bed. Yeah, I like the bed.
Like he comes out of there healed, more evil, and potentially with a nice tan, which must be difficult to acquire living in this underground location with very poor lighting as they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
So
most definitely.
tanning bed, do you want your evil lair to have an evil tanning bed?
I mean, hey, it will be a bonus.
It at least looks like a comfortable bed. The healing open coffin. Oh my god, Sword Lily.
Doesn't seem uncomfortable. Like he doesn't seem to be healing fitfully, even as they are stealing all of his memories. And then what do we have here? Another water feature. So you can see that in this case here, again, we can see those stalactites. So this is the same statement that we saw earlier, but in this case, the tongue has been removed and we just have this blood waterfall that is pouring down from it with some sort of a light feature as well that feels very novel. So it's certainly, again, I think she has one chamber where she's really making all of her evil statements, and it is clearly the commuting chamber.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is Beryl's evil lair. Where do we think, let's put this on a scale of 1 to 5. How good or how bad do you think? Would you want to live in this evil lair? Would you want to be doing your business from this evil lair? Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more to that because I gave Jadeite his own folder, but 2 out of the 3 images in here are really just more shots of the Negaverse. He does not actually have his own evil lair, so you can see a couple of more shots of that waterfall wall in the back. And I really think such a high point of her lair comparatively. She does not have much to show for herself. But what do we think of Beryl's evil headquarters, the Dark Kingdom?
I will say, for me, the worst is going to be that skull. I don't know what I would do with it. I don't know. Like that it's just a no for me.
I think this is about a 2 for me. 2 stars out of 5. And I think there's worse, in my opinion, as far as how poorly appointed it is, but this is fundamentally, there's no seating, there's no decor, there's no lighting. If I was evil and I was doing my evil business, I would want more creature comforts than this. I really think Beryl has sold herself short.
Yeah.
I agree. I would give it a 2.
We giving it a 2? All right.
A 2.
Yeah. Because
2.
it's just like, it's good. It's evil, but it's nothing special to write about.
Not hitting.
Really,
But,
yeah, it really, I think you're going to see immediately the very next one we're going to go to after Michi puts our scorecard up there is going to be the old You Live Like This. So now let's look at a really drastic change in quality of evil lairs.
Oh, do we want to go for comments first?
Oh, yeah, let's hit some comments for sure.
Comments. Yeah.
Okay, so Yolandek 2020, which is a very appropriate comment for right now. I'm voting for Kunzite and Zoisite's castle or quarters within Beryl's castle for reasons. Boy, love reasons.
We've got it in here. We're going to get to it after this next one. They're coming.
Yep. And then they also say maybe she teleports instead of rock climbing.
Yeah, she doesn't really ever leave. She is shut in. So yeah, I guess she doesn't have to deal with the problems of like getting dirty and things like that.
Right, true.
Yep. And then Sora Lily Cosplay says, Beryl doesn't hide who she is. It screams evil, so I'm going to give her a pass.
It certainly does. And I mean,
mean,
she has a chair. Why does anyone else need a chair?
Right?
Right.
It's just for the queen.
I
And then
mean, hey.
Yolanda 2020 saying, I don't want that in my lair, but I like it for Queen Beryl.
True, true. I mean, she is a queen bee, so I mean, come on. I
Mhm.
mean, you know,
Yep.
it's so good.
And then Sora Lily Cosplay says 2 out of 5. The waterfall drapery wall with the colors is cool, but rather drab for all in me. For all in all for me.
Fully agree. Fully
For
agree.
that, yes,
Yep.
I agree
And
on that
then
one too.
Yolanda 2020 says, I gave it an 8 because the pocket rocks are there and because it has a lot of room that I can work with. Honestly, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
The square footage, massive, monstrous.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So let's look at a real step up in evil layers. So let's talk about Nephrite, because I really think that in some ways he sets a high bar. So first of all, Nephrite manifests an entire secluded woodland area in which his evil lair will be stored. This appears out of nowhere near the skyline. He has manifested that just for purposes of storing his evil lair. He likes the privacy. He likes to be out in nature. And then here you can see an exterior shot on his evil lair, which is fully just this beautiful woodland mansion. You can see it's got this dramatic porch with these beautiful ionic columns, lots of windows with really, really good views. It's got this big circular window, a huge balcony out in front. This house has 3 different gables right here in the front and some really beautiful features all along the rooftop. This is just frankly a lovely building, and I think that as a home really has a lot to offer.
Mm.
So we get an interior shot here, and this you can tell by the circular window that this is going to be this room directly above the balcony. So this is on the second floor, and you can see he's getting these beautiful sunsets. So he must be at an elevation. We know because we saw that the forest was rising above the city skyline. So he's also up on a hill. This has got to have some great views. And then just I think you can see lots of windows. He's going to be getting a really good, what looks like it must be a Western exposure here. This is really some nice architecture for him. I think that this shows it really well. He also manifested a planetarium in this room. That I feel is a pretty impressive
Wow.
feature. I think that while Beryl was communing with Metalia's lava tongue, Nephrite here is communing with the spirits of the stars.
Yeah.
And I think that's a
Mhm.
real classy step up. I mean, look at this. Who would not want to be able to manifest a planetarium in their
For
home?
real.
True.
And then we have a few, I was able to find in just one episode some really nice exterior shots of Nephrite on his balcony. And you can see more of the sense of this as his residence where he's living. But you can see some of the detail on the windows. These are surprisingly ornate. Again, they're reflecting that sunset. So we know he's at a really nice high elevation. And you can see here on his balcony, he's got, again, what looks like a nice stone flooring, and he's got a little table out here where he's sitting drinking what I believe it looks like it's maybe scotch in the shot. It's not wine based on the color in the glass that he's drinking it from, but he's got this pretty nice table with what looks like fairly nicely carved and ornate chair that he's sitting on. So he has some degree of taste. This is as much as we get to see of his decor for the house is this one outside shot. That might be Grand Marnier or something based on the shape of the bottle, but he's having a lovely sunset drink by himself with his beautiful wooden furniture on the balcony, and then Zoisite is visiting him to give him shit. But
Wood
again, I think
furniture outside.
he can afford it. He
You
is
can.
he is
Oh
the
yeah.
CEO of some sort of mysterious company. He drives a sports car, which he does park in front of his beautiful mansion. So there's also clearly parking for his vehicle. You can see he's got beautiful woodland views out the front of his
Ooh.
balcony, so that's really nice to just look off into the woods. The sounds are probably really nice. He's probably hearing all the sounds of the forest. It's probably quiet because he's so far away from everyone else, and he's just hearing birds and wind coming through the trees. I can picture myself in this scene. It feels quite lovely. Here's another shot of his interior, that center second floor room, where you can see again some of these windows with again a really dramatic sunset coming through. He doesn't have a lot of furniture in this room, but this is where he manifests his planetarium. So I do feel like the furniture would be in the way here.
True.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Again, his planetarium. Here you can see he's parked his sports car in front of his mansion. So that's Nephrite's lair, and it's really gone in the other direction. This is a livable space. This is a man who enjoys creature comforts in a really nice mansion. I love it a lot, but what do you guys think? You've seen Nephrite's mansion now.
I think 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah, definitely a 5 out of 5 for me. You got a planetarium in your house? Like that?
Right?
It's like a great way to, do some real estate. But it's like this. I love the stained glass. I love how the even night or even sunset come through the stained glass. You're in the middle of nowhere. Like you're just hidden. And I love the table. Of course, the scotch. When you've been doing a lot of evil work, it's like you need a drink every once in a while. And it's like the sports car, you got money. I'm like, live by yourself and and have a just wine. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself, and it's a wonderful home. I would definitely say 5 out of 5 for sure.
Yeah, I just want to note, by contrast, that the closest thing Jadeite had to an evil lair was a pile of TVs in a junkyard where he could manifest his face.
Jadeite.
So, Jadeite was a real failboy, and I think Nephrite just very much went in the other direction.
Nephrite was like, I have a budget.
Right.
A 5 out of 5 for me. Obviously we don't get to see any of his other interior rooms, but I would suspect that this is a well-furnished home since he's even furnished his balcony.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
He has an extensive wardrobe as well of presumably expensive clothing. So he has put effort into his persona in a way that none of the other henchmen do. Now, Jadeite certainly has many personas, but they are all janky. All right. So did we all come in at 5 out of 5, or did we have other numbers? Okay. Yep, that one is move-in ready, baby. Like I could roll out with my car right now.
Yeah.
Comments.
Yes.
Lily cosplay coming in saying the fog is a lovely touch, really makes it feel more evil.
Hard agree. And as I had to go through so many episodes to pull images for this, and what I will tell you is we get a lot of exterior shots of this mansion. It is consistently foggy. Whether it's darker or lighter out, the fog is always present.
Why does it give Twilight vibes though?
Just out in the woods.
Yeah.
He just wanted like an entire evergreen forest.
It also reminds me of Wednesday. Like it has that like Addams Family vibes with especially the house, like that Victorian houses. I'm like, I like that. I like the fog. I think it gives that spooky vibe to it.
Cool. All right, and then Sorely Cosplay also says, girl, a planetarium. He was for sure holding out on Beryl.
Oh, 100%. 100%. He gives Beryl sass in one of the episodes.
He is the sassiest.
Beryl's like, Nephrite, I want you to work with Zoisite for this mission. And Nephrite says, no, absolutely not. And Zoisite's like, are you going to defy Queen Beryl? And I'm not doing this for Queen Beryl. I do this for me, and I'm not working with you. Like right in front of her.
Damn, son.
It's like, snap, snap. That's what you got to do. And also, too, I feel like Queen Beryl just moved in. She would just be uninvited and moved right on in. That would have been her.
Yeah. She would have kicked him out of his own lair.
Pretty much.
Well, Yolanda 2020 said, no one said that Queen Beryl can't visit Nephrite's planetarium.
I
She
mean, she
would
can
take it
also
for
bring
herself.
wine
I
to the
can't trust
table,
her.
you know. She could have got a chair, brought her own chair, and brought some wine.
Yeah. Then sort of cosplay says, very true, but Beryl's a homebody and would get super jealous if she knew.
Yes, she
True.
would.
True.
And then Yolanda 2020 says it's a 5 out of 5 for me as a lair.
Mhm.
Chef's kiss.
And then Surly Cosplay says, okay, this is honestly a really lovely home. For the planetarium and the huge windows are amazing. For regular old me, 5 out of 5. Lots of potential. But as an evil lair, 3 out of 5. Mostly because if the fog dissipates and it's a sunny day, a lot of the evil vibes disappear.
Yeah, I think if anyone found your evil lair, like if they accidentally stumbled upon it in the woods, it would be too inviting. They would feel too safe knocking on the door. I could see that. I could see that. But I still want it. It's still
Yolanda 2020 says, I'd bring my own chair.
yes. Look, there's room at the table for a second person.
I mean, I will bring
Exactly.
some chips. Like, I will buy food. It would have been off the chain. Think of the dinner that he can have on that table.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be
And I
some
mean, he's
fine
prepared for
dining.
it. If you look closely, you can see he's got an ice bucket here, which means he owns an ice bucket with the little clip claw that you can see hanging off there.
So
Like, this is a
fancy.
man who is invested.
Yes.
Fancy.
So are we ready for the next?
We are.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Zoisite and Kunzite's love pad. There aren't too many shots of this, but I've pulled what I could. You can see back here we have some degree of a sort of a natural wall backdrop. It's got some color to it. And you can see here, this is there's very organic shapes here. Again, this has to be in or near the Dark Kingdom, because again, you've got these rock structures going on in the background and some sort of a psychedelic brain meat happening down here in terms of this rock structure. There's a lot going on, but it all seems to be naturally occurring stone.
Mm.
This is not what it really looks like, but this is what they imagine it looking like when Zoisite is dying. So I love that for them. Here's what it really looks like. Now, this does appear to be a couch or a fuck bed. It is unclear. It seems large enough that it could serve as a bed for them. But I think crucially, not only that, we see that we have what look like root structures here. So there seems to be some degree of plant life. We've got what look like mushrooms. They have a glow to them. And what's clearly some sort of a flower in the front here. There's a lot of natural vegetation. And that feels like a bonus comparatively. Here's another shot of that. You can see we've got some really high ceilings to work with in this space, and they have some sort of natural light coming in from above. So that's useful as a feature, some kind of a skylight maybe in their fuck realm. And then crucially, they have some sort of a cauldron, which means that they can do cooking, which I think it's useful to have an evil lair where you can brew something up as opposed to having to, Grubhub every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I'm sorry, that bed looks so uncomfortable.
Right?
It's so uncomfortable. And I can't do. I'm like, even sitting in it, I'm like, no. I'm like, that's just not happening. I would just give it a 2 out of 5 on that one. It's just, it doesn't scream evil lair to me at all.
Yeah, I think again the dirt would be a real concern for me with this one. This is if I'm in a fuck pad, I don't want dirt to be an issue. And I think that would be an issue here. Or Kunzite's going to really have to like spread out his cloak a lot of the time to make this happen. And maybe that's why he really has the cloak. Maybe we're learning. Sorry, I think we all just read the same comment.
That's great. Woo.
Here, you want me to highlight
Yeah,
and
just
you
pop
read
it up
it?
right now.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just pop it right up. Sword Lily Cosplay says 1 out of 5. Kunzite is definitely using this as the secret home for his side piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Zoisite, he deserves better. That bitch would want better. And
Yes.
yet this is sort of what they're making do with. And I think that while I would ostensibly rate this somewhat higher than Beryl's lair, because there's no lava tongue and there's some degree of seeding and flowers, which makes it more decorative and functional. At the same time, this is supposed to be your fuck pad. And since that is its only shown purpose, it feels like a real letdown in that regard.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, most
And
definitely.
there we go. Yolanda 2020 says Dark Kingdom vegetation might not be a bonus. Think carnivorous plants.
Oh, it's entirely
True.
possible.
Oh
This
yeah,
red flower
true. Yeah.
100% looks like it could be carnivorous.
Yeah, and
I
those
could
really
believe
cute
it.
little mushrooms, they look poisonous.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, I would not want to touch them.
They
Yep.
also
I feel
look
like
like they're his nightlight.
Yeah.
also too, like those plants can eat that side piece. I'm just saying, like they can, like it will be like the only reason why I would say it too because there's a cauldron you can cook.
That's what,
That's
like the ability to cook, that's a real rare. We're only going to see that in like two other layers will we really have the ability to cook. And so it is an unusual feature. So yeah, I guess I could go with 2 like you could for that reason that there's some functionality to their fuck pad.
Okay, I can be convinced for it too. Oh my god, wait, Sword Lily cosplay.
Oh, the drama.
Oh yeah, you want to read that
oh
The
one?
wow.
drama.
Woo!
Yeah, Sir Lily cosplay says not based on this pad. Makes me more
Woo!
convinced of Kunzite and Venus. Yo.
Yo.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
The tea has been
Wow.
served. Are we ready for our next
Lair?
evil lair?
Yes.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, so we are moving out of season 1 and we are moving into season 2. Now, this is a really exciting one because we're going to be looking at the evil lair of the Makaiju twins, the Doom Tree. And so there's really a lot to look at here. So we're going to start with, this is the unfurnished space. This was the apartment untouched. You can see we're seeing really nice floor to ceiling sliding glass doors out to the balcony. The balcony clearly has a high up view because you can't see any buildings past it. And this is a nice spacious area. This is the living room area. Now it does look like it's again a marble flooring, which wouldn't be my first choice for an apartment, but you can certainly put down rugs and that's going to help with the sound. So this is a start to the space. Here you can see that their balcony is pretty high up. What you will see in another shot is it is actually the top floor of this building. So this is a penthouse where they've placed their lair. And I feel like that adds value. Here you can see they've got a beautiful view onto the city. So again, they're very high up. This an apartment with a really nice view. They can see a lot of trees. They're close to Tokyo Tower. And their neighbors apparently don't mind them playing music.
Right.
So this is
That's
nice. They must
good.
have good, nice neighbors. Here's a shot of their balcony. You can see they furnished it a little bit. They've got a couple of chairs. There's one for each of them. And they've put a nice plant on the balcony that we know wasn't there before. And that really adds a little bit of life to the place. I think that's a nice touch to just put that out there. These are plant lovers, and that's reflected in their evil lair. You will see nature in this lair. Here's a nice interior shot of how they've gone ahead and decorated that. What we saw before was a completely empty space. And here's the decor they've put into it. We've got a really nice long L-shaped couch here for conversations and a nice coffee table with a couple of additional little footstools to sit on. Again, they've put out flowers again, we've got plants going. We've got a lamp and then a nice bookcase. Now, the colors and the shape language in here is very retro, very mod. So the aesthetic here is very specific. They haven't just gone for a generic look. You're going to see a very mod vibe to it all, which I think is fun for an evil lair. They've hung
Yeah.
up some paintings, so they've taken the time to decorate. The red wall is a really bold color choice, but they're not afraid of color, the Doomtree twins. They're not afraid of color. Here you can see that their evil lair also has a door which opens into a large empty space area where they can store their giant evil tree. And I think that, again, if you are a nature lover, this is really going to be the space for you. Because if you too have a tree that is about 3 stories tall and attached to a giant beating heart, you're going to need a place to store that. And this really, really offers that for you. I mean, this is an almost infinite space just through one door of their apartment. So a real feature for the nature lover.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Here's a shot of them enjoying their beautifully appointed central receiving room. You can see that there's a shot onto the balcony. You can see there's their chair out there. She's put down a beanbag chair that she's sitting on. They're just enjoying the space, really, really having a nice time. Here you can see now they've clearly brought a carpet into that room. And I think that's such a nice choice because I really think that marble flooring made the area very cold. So having this really big, sumptuous area rug really, really softens it up and it makes it a place you can sit. You can see they've hung up some nice curtains here as well. And that makes it feel very much like a home. And it gives them some privacy at night if they want to have, weirdly close brother sister interactions.
Mhm.
So we get some shots of a bedroom. Here you can see a private living space. Again, we've got some windows and she's got some sort of blinds that she can draw. She's hung up a picture and she's got a bed as well that she can rest on. This room it looks like it's reasonably sizable for a bedroom. I wouldn't say it's massive. This doesn't feel like it's the size of a master bedroom, but it comfortably fits her twin bed, her one random stool, as well as what looks like a writing desk and a chair with, her scrying orb that she's never used, but that could be, I actually have a simulated sunrise alarm clock in my room that I use, and it looks very much like that. So maybe this is her simulated sunrise alarm clock. I love that for her. These are
Ooh.
automatic doors throughout the house, both their front door as well as all the doors between rooms are electronically automated. They slide into pocket doors. So that feels like a
Mhm.
very modern feature. That's somewhat high end, I think.
Yeah.
Here's her bed. I don't love her bed. I prefer a little bit of bedding, but it again fits with that sort of mod aesthetic, and she seems to like it. So it works for her. She's again put carpeting in her room, which makes it very comfortable. Here you can see the exterior of the building, and it looks like you have to go through a couple of sets of doors to really get into the building. This is probably a very secure building. They probably have a security guard of some kind. It looks like there's really nice landscaping being done on the outside of the building. So this looks like it's high end. This looks like it'd be a very safe area to live and to have your secret evil lair. So I think that's a positive feature as well. Here again, you can see their door and you can see they've got what looks like some sort of a security system on the door. So I think if you're, hatching evil plots, it's good to have that extra layer of security provided for you. And clearly their apartment building, has that available. Another nice feature. Now, we talked about the rare ability to cook. They have a fully appointed kitchen. You can see here that this is when they are brewing, according
Cocoa.
to the program, the cocoa, or tea or coffee, but no, cocoa. But they are able to do that. You can see he's got cabinetry behind him. He's got, a cloth to wipe off his dishes. So they have a fully appointed kitchen. And I think that's a really, really nice feature for your evil lair. This is clearly a place where they can sit and live.
Did the couch change
I
colors?
was just thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. I thought it was red before. And
Yeah.
so now that means that because those were from early episodes of the series, this was in the beginning of their arc. This is in the last two episodes, which means that perhaps they got bored of the red and bought a new couch. So, you know what? Good for them. They wanted to style it up a little bit. I think that's a different throw pillow too. I want to say they had
It
square
is.
throw pillows before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had
purple.
square and now they've gone to a
It-
circle. So yeah, they decided to redecorate. And I really think
Mhm.
that keeps the space fresh. So I love that for them. But they kept
Mhm.
that lamp, and I think that gives it a sense of continuity to a space that you've lived in. Because who would want to lose your weird mushroom lamp?
True that.
Again, they've always got fresh flowers in a vase on the table. This is a real nature lover's home. It really makes the place look inviting for when you're arguing with your classmates. A bookcase here with just tons of books. Where did they get them? When did they find time to read them? Who knows? They can't all be Snow White, which we do know that Anne has read. But,
Mhm.
again, it shows a sense of welcome. It's something to do. It gives you an activity when you're in the evil lair. And I think that's really great. They're aliens. They probably had to learn a lot about Earth culture really quickly. And it's possible that these books help them do that. So that feels like utility. Here again, you can see, like I said, all those curved doors. Everything has this sort of mod feeling to it. Again, these bright, vibrant colors. So that's just, goes to the decor. Here they've got a TV that is set into a curved wall. And again, a giant area rug, which you can see is actually covering the marble flooring. And that's got to be a huge circle of rug. This is going to be pricey to have a TV screen that curves that way and of that size in this era, and to have an area rug, again, of that size that perfectly fits this space. A lot of money was put into making this a really nice area.
Mhm.
Same picture. Here's a shot of, again, their funky mod door. Love that for them. Here you can see another painting that they've hung up, and you can see that they are in fact living in this space. He's got a toothbrush, he's got his morning mug like this. They are fully using this as their residence, and I really think this points to the fact that they've made their lair very comfortable to live in.
Mhm.
Here's another shot of their balcony, again with that plant that they've put out there to make it look very cozy. You can see it gets some great lighting. Here's another shot where you can see this recliner that they've put in. That looks fun. Now the couch has turned brown, so maybe they have slip covers for it because it's now gone to a third cover. But you can see they've got cakes out for people as well as the tea. So this is clearly a space in which they can functionally provide food. Again, amazing views from this apartment. You can see way in the background, there's Tokyo Tower. This is a phenomenal view. And then, again, for the nature lover, really, really just huge places to store your evil tree and really commune with it as you will. And it will commune back with you. As you can see here, it really gets involved. So if you are a nature lover, this can be a really great lair for you to commune with nature in a special way. It will commune back with you. It can be a spectacular thing to look upon if you really love nature. So how do we feel about their evil lair?
It does have a lot of nice features.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I love how they changed the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I recognized after they changed the couch that there was an extra chair, like a lounge chair that was also there, which
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, that's a really nice touch to like, grab a book, lay on the
Absolutely.
yeah, and then the balcony and the nature, you know, the I love the Tokyo Tower that was like behind it. I'm like, oh, that's like really a nice touch, especially the red. I can deal with the red. I think the red will, with the yellow and stuff, like you gotta break it up, the colors and stuff. The only thing that just bothers me is the bed. Like, I don't know what is up with the bed. I just can't do it. It's a curve. It doesn't look comfortable.
So
Like,
my problem with the bed is it is clearly some sort of a leather or a vinyl. You can see it's got a shine to it, and I would
mm,
stick right to that thing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
ugh. I mean, we can understand why. I mean, like,
All right,
it does.
Michi, what do you think of this evil lair?
Yeah.
I really like the coffee maker.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10
Mm-hmm.
out of 10 coffee
Yeah.
maker.
100%.
Also a nice set of glasses. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
a nice building. It could use a little bit of interior design differences, but because mod is not my favorite. But
I
otherwise,
feel
it's a
the
nice lair,
exact same. I mean, you could hardly do better as far as a lair that is both functional and livable, but
right?
this is not my taste as far as design. So I would
Yeah.
come in probably at about a 4 on this, which is that, oh, it's got great bones and it just needs a little bit to get it there.
Yeah, I agree. 4 out of 5 works for me.
Four out of five for
All
sure.
right.
All right,
It's
let's
going to
see
be
if I can
image
do
2.
this right.
Image 2.
Image 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, let's hit comments.
Yeah.
All right, Lily cosplay making me cry laughing. I'm gonna bring Swiss mix to the
I
next
love
Sailor Moon
it.
meetup with all the cocoa references.
Yes.
God.
Look, if
Yes.
there's one thing that Deke gave us, it is so much cocoa.
So
Right.
much cocoa. I'm
Ugh.
surprised there's not a song about cocoa.
What? Right? And I think also too, I love the big back chair. Oh, I don't know what it is. Like the big back chair, it's kind of like chilling. Like I give it a 4 just because I like how it's open. But I think the green carpet just threw everything off. I don't
Yeah.
know what it is about the green
Mhm.
carpet.
It's the colors. It's very Pokemon starter pack.
Yep.
True that. It's
All
like
right, what other
Pokedex.
comments
Look
we
at
got?
that Pokedex.
I'm so glad. I really like when I had the idea for this as a mini, I was like, I'm gonna go to the nines with it.
It's like real estate. Like you're like doing real estate. I'm like, I'm loving this right now.
Good, I'm
Yeah.
glad.
And then Charlie also says her bed is better than rocks.
Like you
Oh,
know it,
true
and
that.
Zoisite knows it.
Yep. And then Totally Cosplay also says coming in, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's a high-rise apartment and the books, plants, furniture make it more move-in ready. I take it even with an evil tree and a funky bed. Nephrite's mansion is currently my front runner, but hand me the keys and I'm moving in.
I'm right there with you. Right there with
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Oh, and then Yolandak 2020 says it's livable, so 4 out of 5.
Mhm.
Oh. True,
There's
true,
only
true, true,
one
true.
evil lair that we're gonna get to that I think will rise to the level of Nephrite's lair. Because Nephrite just sets a high bar, but we will get there. Let's get to the next. Now we start looking at the Black Moon clan. So let's look at the evil lair for Rubius and the Ayakashi sisters. Now, this is a struggle, this one. So here's an exterior shot. It is a giant spiky floating satellite in the sky. It does look pretty cool from the outside. Certainly you're going to have great views because you are literally above all of the buildings, but you might run afoul of airplanes. So that could be a concern. Now the interior space, this might cause issues for you if you are someone with motion sickness or are prone to vertigo. As you can see, this interior space, this is actually Rubius standing in the middle here. So the floor is actually sideways. There's also floor over here. These crucifixes have the sailor soldiers on them, but all around them, you've got these crystals sort of moving through the space. So this is, I think it's very spectacular. It's very striking. You certainly know you're in a magical space here, but I would become physically ill quite quickly in this space. So again, for decor, you've got some pillars going on here. I think a really classic feature of many evil lairs is to have some really nice pillars, and they at least did not skimp in that department. So we've got some pillars going, but also crucially, if you've ever wanted to just like crucify your enemies and put them on display, you can do that here. This space does allow for it. There's a lot of crystalline decorations. That's sort of the main theme here. Lighting is quite dark. They do have a tractor beam. So as far as like accessibility to the building, I feel like this is an accessibility feature. You do not need to climb up any stairs. You know, whatever the status of your mobility is, you can get in and out of this lair because of this tractor beam. So I do like that from that standpoint, that I feel like that is a nice feature to have. Then we can see these crucifixes. You can also see there's these large discs. That's sort of a theme here. The color scheme is this sort of mottled black, green, blue color. So it's a very dark toned color. It certainly gives an evil vibe if that's the sort of thing that you like. It's great for cackling in front of your enemies. And there is also one power amplifying crystal. So I think this is sort of a nice visual feature in the room. As far as lighting features go, it will certainly draw your guests' attention and it will amplify your evil powers, which is nice to have from an evil standpoint. Again, here's another exterior shot of the lair. So again, you can see the elevation that it has and the sense of a lack of up and down with the way that spikes are sort of coming out all directions with it. Here is what appears to be the main living space. It is just a series of mirrors and giant bongs. I would like to call them columns, but they have a base but no top, which just makes them look like bongs. Now there are these little crystalline tuffets that the sisters can sit on, and there appears to be one for a Rubius to sit on as well. So the 5 of them can sit there together and do their makeup and hatch evil schemes. I like the way this becomes a conversation space, the way it brings people together because you're sort of communally doing an activity together. But it does feel very harsh. It doesn't feel like it would be a very comfortable place to sit and hang out. And there are no beds to be seen. We have no sense of whether there's any sort of a living quarters for these people. Again, here are the mirrors and bongs, just hanging out in the space. Another similar shot. You can sort of see the crystal tuffets better here. And again, a lot of pillars. We love pillars in an evil lair. So that's Rubius's evil lair and the Ayakashi's evil lair. Let's talk about this one. How do we feel about this one?
I'm just not feeling it. Like the motion sickness, that's what dig me in because
that's a crucial one for me.
I would be ill. Right, it's nice to have accessibility to go up like with no stairs. Yeah. It's great, but the outside it looks cool, but the inside, like there's no seating, there's no bedding, like people are just standing, and I'm like, I get tired, like I need to sit, like, and then the crew fixtures, that's just not it for me. Like I just don't like that. Like it's like, you know, but I do like like the light, like the dark light, I'm cool. Like you need a lamp, you need something to brighten it up. But other than that, this is like a 2 out of 5 for me.
I do think it looks evil. The big spikies help.
It certainly looks evil. Yeah, you're absolutely not wrong.
Like if we're looking for an evil lair, it looks like an evil lair.
Looks like an evil lair. You're not wrong.
No, from the outside it is, but it's like, you know.
But then it gets an extra point from me because let's see if I can share while you're sharing. This will be fun.
Go for it.
It reminds me of a video from Dreamcatcher.
It very much looks like that.
This is Dreamcatcher's Rose Blue, and I looking at that crystal, I was like, where have I seen that before? Where have I seen that before? Where have I seen that before? Shit, this is a Dreamcatcher music video.
That is so funny.
Yeah, stand Dreamcatcher. But
I just need to put a mirror in between each of those pillars.
Right. You basically have it. So it gets an extra point, so I'm up to 3.
Okay, I'm down at 1. This is a hard one for me. I would not function well in this
Spinny.
Rotating gravity.
No, yeah.
Vomitron.
All right, so I think it ends this on 2.
All right, where did chat land on this one?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the comments.
Sword Lily Cosplay says, this is giving me McMansion vibes. A little too unique. A certain type of person would love it, but it would take someone equally eccentric. 2 out of 5 for me.
Yo.
The McMansion is great.
And then Yolanda 2020 says, no for me, 1 out of 5.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And Sword Lily adds, it does feel extra clean, which is why I got an extra point for me.
True.
Fair. Yeah, I don't think dirt would be an issue here. Dirt almost couldn't get in.
No.
You just got crystals and marble-ish looking floor.
It definitely would have got a lower score from me, but it had Dreamcatcher, so.
Yeah, and that's fine. We score with our hearts here. This is how we evaluate. Now we're getting into Esmeralda. We do not have a lot of photos of her lair, but boy, does it go hard. So here's a shot. Her lair is clearly up in deep space. It has a water feature over here. There's like a waterfall pouring down, and then the water drips off of the side of this disc where her lair is located. And then on the other side, she's got this marble area with a table. This is typically also where she will place her cute little bathtub. She's got some pillars like any evil lair should have, and then a beautiful tree that we'll be able to see. So here you can see that waterfall coming down, and here's the water side of her lair, and then it pans over. Her columns are actually floating, very stylish. So is her table. She didn't need to go that hard, but she did. Her tree is like some sort of a beautiful sakura maybe in bloom. It looks absolutely lovely. Here we get to see her in her bath with flowers in it. She's got a custom pink bath that actually stands on this little tiny spike. Very fancy. And you can again see this beautiful tree that just covers the entire space behind her. I mean, the girl She lives in luxury, and really for no reason. She doesn't have to, but she does it anyway.
Of course. Now, the only thing I'll be worried about is that water. Why it's like like if overflows. I'm like, where's that all gonna go? But also like, I love the sakura trees around it. It is just gorgeous. But and then the floating pillars. Oh, that looks really, really cool. The bath. I mean, that's it. From I feel like for this, it like there's no bed though. That's the only thing. No,
Well, yeah,
there's
it's
no.
unclear because we can see in these images that the bath isn't always there because that's her floating table, which we can see when
Right,
they zoom
right.
in, which means the bath gets summoned from somewhere. So I guess it's possible that she also has a bed that she can
Mm,
summon, but I take your
yeah.
point that there does not appear to be one. So it's a concern, I think.
Yeah, it is a concern, but I will probably give it 3 out of 5 just because it's. I mean, hey, it's a pool. You got marble, you got the tree, But the problem is like the bed part. That's the bed and that water. Like, where's the water going? Like, I don't know if it's gonna be recyclable. Like it's just I feel like it's just too pretty for evil lair. Like it's too pretty. Like but I'll give it like a 3 out of 5 for this
All right,
one.
Michi, what do you think?
I agree with 3 out of 5. It's got style, it's got flair, but
It
it's
was
a
there.
little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can go with 3 out of 5. I find this one breathtakingly beautiful, beautiful beyond any other layer that we will see. But as far as function, it really is lacking. So I can absolutely see going with a lower score there. I think we're all going to land on a 3. Sailor Mercury running the numbers on how to fix
I
up a
know.
3.
Right?
I
I
had
love
fun
the
pick little gifts for each of these.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Okay.
go to the comments.
Oh my god, Yolanda 2020, she sleeps in the bathtub. Honestly, maybe.
I mean,
I've dreamed of that before, but the water would have to stay hot.
right. I mean, also too, she could have, because there was flowers in the tub. I mean, it like, she could have had some scents or something, like some that would be kind of cool,
Yeah. And then Swordly Cosplay says, honestly, simple and stylish. As an evil lair, I wouldn't complain. 5 out of 5. It scratches a fancy itch for me. Nephrite's mansion is the practical option, but I'd still take this.
See, you are a person after my own heart. Like this one lives in my head rent free because it's just so beautiful.
See, Yolanda's more on our side, or no, 1 out of 5.
And I think this
Whoa.
is why this lands at a 3 out of 5 because this is very polarizing.
It is very polarizing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go to the next. So now we're going to look at Prince Demand, Wise Man, and Saphir all sort of share this evil space. We're going to start off real strong, bringing the drama of whatever this is. This
Yeah.
appears to be an exterior shot with some bulbs. This is very evil and organic looking. Here's an interior shot. You can see we have some sort of a giant gaseous feature behind him. Lots of pillars. Right away that says evil lair. When there's so many pillars, there's a lot of evil going on. Now, what I don't like about these pillars is that they don't match. You can see we've got 3 different styles of pillars going on here, and that feels visually confused to me. I don't like that for the space. But the gaseous feature is very dramatic and I think less upsetting than Beryl's skull. Here's a shot where you can start to see Demand's throne. This is a very ornate throne that he has. I think we'll have another shot of it maybe. No, I didn't get another shot of it, but it's got like a jewel on it. It's got some shape to it. So he's put some thought into his throne. It is the only seating visual in his lair. Again, this doesn't seem to be a big concern for a lot of our villains, but I would like to be able to entertain. So the seating could be a concern for you. Again, we're looking at maybe a marble floor. You can see it's got a lot of reflection. And here you've got this one big crystal in the back. So that's sort of a decorative element. It's again a conversation piece. And then a slightly recessed floor around that decorative crystal. Here's another shot where you can see the back of his throne. Again, it's very specific to him. It's got that sort of organic look to it, and no seating for his henchmen, even his brother. There's another shot of that big glass tank with the gas enclosed inside of it, which again is very dramatic. Here you can see, again, these discs are a real feature in the Black Moon Clan's decor. So we saw them in Rubius's lair, and as well as some of these crystals. And you can see that demand sort of favors a similar vibe. So I assume that Rubius did not decorate his own space. Now, here you get something a little more exciting from the space, which is that we do get this one hint that he has these big decorative crystals coming from everywhere. And those, I think, add a little bit of vibrancy, a little bit of interest. They appear to maybe be light sources as well. So I think that sort of zhuzhes up the place just a little bit. I think it adds a fun element, which it really needs. It's a very cold lair. So what do we think, fam?
Make it evil, make it spiky.
I mean, the pillars just throws everything off. I just want everything the same. That way it looks evil. I do the fire or the glass. That's fine. It's just like there's only one seat, and that's it. Like, I will probably say a 2 for this one. Just a 2.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to come in at a 2 because while I think that Beryl's lair has more character and does not have this 3 different columns problem, Demand's lair certainly is going to be a lot cleaner. I don't worry about getting filthy every time that I brush against something when I'm in this lair. So I think this is a 2 for me.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's almost a 1 for me because it so doesn't match his vibe.
Look at these columns. I could go for 1 on this. Like, I don't care. These columns make me so mad. I could go 1.
I can't do these columns. Like, they're all different proportions. Like, and it's like I don't get the vibe. Like, I just don't. Like, it's just.
This looks like the guy from Wizard of Oz.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's him.
No, and the chair just doesn't fit.
So Michi, what number are you coming in at?
1.
Okay, so are we coming in at a 1?
Yep.
All right, 1. Straight to the bottom of the barrel. This is going to be number 5, Michi.
This is the first one.
So we burn it down.
Oh, Sarah Mars, burn it down.
It must go. It simply must go. All right. Yeah, let's hit some comments.
We just have 1, and it's Sword Lily Cosplay says there's a clear reason why Emerald had her own evil lair. 1 out of 5. It's boring. I like crystals, but it's not enough.
True.
I
agree.
There's a lot to say about the evil lair in the R movie. This is an interesting one because we actually get some stats on the evil lair. So his evil lair is specifically an asteroid. So we know that it is located in outer space. We know that it has 0 moons, that it weighs 5,020 somethings, and it turns on its axis in 48 somethings. This is a lot of fun to have some data. So a fun feature of Fiore's lair is that it has a big healing crystal tank. So if you've ever wanted to submerge your kidnapped loved one in crystal to heal them from their wounds, that is functional and also probably serves as a bath. So I think that does some double duty. That's a real feature for me. Here we get some exterior shots. We can actually see that this is a modular asteroid. It actually transforms. So it can open up, which is really nice if you want to use it in a seasonal way. Maybe in cooler distances from the sun, you want to close it up to stay warm. And then when you get closer to the sun, maybe you want to open it up, really bring in some of that natural light. You can do that. You can see it unfolds really beautifully like a flower. So that's top tier layered design in that sense. You can see that we've really gone in for the florals. So there's no shortage of plant life here. You will again feel like you are among nature. We've got these dramatic alien vistas here, which I think sort of sticks in the memory. And here you can not only see again this very floral landscape with some hills, so there's some elevations, but you can also see in the distance we've got this platform area. This seems to be the closest thing to a living space, is this platform where the healing crystal water tank is kept. with these rocks around it that sort of serve as makeshift pillars in the absence of any proper pillars. You can see they're like little crystal pillars. So still the evil pillar vibe, but in his own special way. This is sort of a better look onto that area with, again, this marble looking flooring. And apparently Sailor Mercury's German visor. Here you can see that his evil lair is capable of sprinkling flower seeds down onto a planet. So that feels efficient for your evil lair can actually do some evil in and of itself. That's a real bonus in my opinion. And then we have a built-in security system, all of those flowers. Each of them represents a minion that you can use to kill your enemies. So that's really useful to always have your henchmen with you. They can form into a giant wad of henchmen, which you can use to physically bury alive your enemies, which is a real asset. Now, these crystal pillars also appear to be lighting features, so that's really nice. You have some artificial lighting as well that adds a point of interest. I think it brings some color. This green is a real nice pop against the pink. So this looks really nice. And then, your henchmen that live in the flowers can assist you in harvesting energy from your enemies, if that's a thing that you want to do. And in a real pinch, you can also set your evil lair onto a collision course with the nearest planet. So again, it really can put in the work as far as, not just being an evil lair, but being part of your evil plans. So that's Fiore's lair. What do we think, fam?
Fancy.
Very fancy. I have to give this like a 3 out of 5. The only reason why I would say 3 out of 5 is the living space is very far. And I have to walk. And then I'm like, I like the security system. Security system is great, but it's just like there's just a lot of plants. Like that's a lot. But I like the healing crystal. That's really, really different. And then, if you have to do a collision course, go for it, but yeah, I'd say a 3 out of 5 for this one for sure.
Yeah, I think 3 out of 5 is fair middle ground because it's really, really pretty.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like I would also come in at a 3 out of 5 because it's very pretty and very functional as far as its evil purposes, but really not very livable for me. There's no indoor space, and that's a real problem. I need a place to put a toilet where I can pee in private. So
of course, yeah.
I think the lack of an interior space is a real drawback for me. I think we're all going to land on a 3.
Yep.
Chat, what did you guys think about Fiore's lair? We'll go to the next, but yeah, sound off in the comments.
Yes.
Would you mind reading this?
Yeah. Sword Lily Cosplay says, I've always loved the looks of this area. The vibes are fun, and as far as your evil plans go, 5 out of 5. But it's definitely more of an evil office. Not really a place for you to spend time here long term. Agree with the 3 out of 5. Yeah, that is exactly why I'm landing on it that way.
Yes. For sure.
Okay, so I've split the next one up in an interesting way. We're going to look at the Witches 5 Lair / Mugen Academy separately from Tomoe's mansion because these are not necessarily contiguous spaces, although they're implied to be semi-contiguous. So first we're going to look at the Witches 5's Evil Lair / Mugen Academy. There's a lot going on here. This is a very functional space. You can see they do an incredible amount of science. They've got these exposed ceilings. You can see the visible piping that was very popular in, I want to say, like the early thousands, where you had this sort of exposed ceiling look. But you've also got this science lab going on. Lighting really lacking, as is often an issue in these evil lairs, but lots of space to do projects and lots of materials to do them. People are wearing proper coats here, but otherwise not really wearing proper PPE. You can see there's some gas going on, so that could be a concern. The ventilation may not be the best. Now, they do have technology. The technology is what we would consider dated nowadays, but this technology would have been fairly modern at the time when this was made. Oh, thank you for coming by, Lily Cosplay. Yeah, definitely share your more thoughts later as we continue going through this absolutely crazy adventure. When I see a corded phone like this, I just want to wrap it around my finger. It's just like an instinct from back when I had, a corded phone back in the day. But yeah, you can, call your colleagues, which is very useful. They do that a lot here. They've got branding on their door to let you know that they work here. You can see this is a metal door, so this is pretty heavy, which implies a degree of security. I think that's nice for a building that is put to purpose so much. They've got some rats, which implies they do animal experiments, but they also gave one of the rats a piece of cheese, which implies they give them cheese. And then here you can see a lot of equipment. Now, this is a co-working space. A lot of the shots show that the various employees are either working together or working in various very close quarters. They may be lacking in space, but it looks like they work collaboratively on a lot of their projects, which is useful. You can see they've got workstations. Each person appears to get a computer with their own roller computer chair and again, their own personal phone. And then you can see here that they have an evil oven. So the evil oven is used for evil purposes, but there's nothing to think that they couldn't also use it to bake things. And I think that would be a real feature, would be the ability to, sort of heat up your lunch when you are in the middle of evil work. Here's an exterior shot on the evil oven. And they've got a big conveyor belt system which will actually load your evil daemons directly onto your what appears to be a company provided vehicle. That's a real feature. You can pull your car right up, load the evil directly onto it, and take your company car out and do some evil. So I really like that as a feature. And then the Mugen Academy / Witches 5 lair has an extensive tunnel system that appears to go all over Tokyo. And what you'll see is it directly will shoot the car out of different entrances based on where they want to hatch an evil plan. So they might be, for example, coming out of a subway entrance. That's a thing that they can maybe do. We'll see a couple more of those. We've got one that is directly on an airstrip at the airport. Here's one coming out of not aquifer, the waterway, aqueduct, I want to say. And here's one coming out of a lake in a park. So really as far as transportation to and from the evil lair, you really can get a lot of places quite quickly just using those conveyor belt systems. That feels very convenient. Here you can see Dr. Tomoe is doing a little tea service for himself. He's making green tea right there in the lab. It's nice that they allow for the ability to take breaks and, make drinks for yourself. At another point, he does make coffee as well. That's clearly an option. And then if you like to exercise at work, they clearly have some degree of gym equipment available. So that's a real feature for people who work a desk job and really want to stay fit while they're doing that. I think that's nice. Oh, also you can eject your car at the zoo. That's also an option. Their computer appears to maybe run on, this appears like it's maybe an old Macintosh. So I was trying to see what I could figure out about the operating system, but it doesn't appear to be Windows OS. Again, an older system, but it checks out. She's using a floppy disk here. They have a locker room, which is nice. Each employee has their own locker. That's really considerate to store your stuff. And they have these employee provided slippers for you to wear that are branded with their Black Star logo. It's the little things that add nice touches. There's also the nice stuffed animal room for if you have a creepy evil messiah and you want to surround them on their throne with stuffed animals, you can do that. So they have this room with some pillars, some speakers, perhaps to allow her to be heard better, and a stairway leading up to this nice carpeted area with these really beautiful tasseled curtains and a bunch of little pale lights to spookily illuminate her. So really the room that has the most design love. Now, this is also a functional school. So you'll notice that there are a lot of things that allow this to function as a school. Here's a room where he is clearly doing experiments and teaching some of his students. They've got their desks pulled up. She's studying whatever he's doing while secretly looking at idol pictures. They have a little bit of work downtime. They're clearly playing Twister here. And so I think it's nice that the employees get to socialize a little bit. I think that's good for their fitness and for their socialization. And let's see what else we've got. You've got some nice views out of Mugen Academy. You can see here, it looks directly over a bridge, so that's really nice. They do have a security system in the academy. That's what you would expect from a high-end school like this, but it's nice to see. Here we can see some of the academy itself, very clean, very modern, and I think that modern look really suits it. Here's a lecture hall, and again, just a nice school. They've clearly got some technology happening below the building. It's a very science-focused evil organization. They've got a computer lab with computers for every person. And here's a nice exterior shot. It's a very beautiful building, located sort of dramatically by itself in this area, a really tall high rise among a bunch of shorter buildings. So that's Mugen Academy and the Witches 5 Evil Lair. How do we feel about this one?
I really like it.
I do. I think it's like you have that evil microwave, that science lab. You have a gym space. Like you can do like fun activities. You can see a lecture hall. I mean, the technology is just off bounds. Like in the car. I mean, you can't forget the car. I mean, it's like I would say like a 4 out of 5. It just because it's like missing like I know they got chairs, but I wish like they had like a couch or something.
Yeah,
Or
it's
something
not a
like
very
that.
cozy space, but it scores highly with me because it is incredibly functional. I think this is the most functional evil lair that we've seen as far as evil doing. But I agree, it doesn't have that, like, I wouldn't want to move in. So I think it's like a 4 for me.
4. Yeah.
I'm down with a 4. All right, and then we'll go to comments.
Yeah.
So Yolanda 2020 brings up, I'm not sure I'd want to eat food cooked up, warm up in the diamond oven.
Oh, but
Well,
like, I would want to try it at least once. Like, at least once,
yeah.
just to know.
And then they voted 5 out of 5. It has everything and potential, which it does.
It really
It
does.
does.
Especially that, but they have that, presumably they have that entire high rise, which means that they can make it a livable space. And it's implied that they may have done that because we know that Dr. Tomoe and Hotaru moved out of their mansion, and it's implied that they moved here. So they may in fact have created a living space in this building as well, which just would put it over the top.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the other end of season S and let's look at Dr. Tomoe's mansion, because this is also his evil lair. It is in fact directly connected to the Deathbusters headquarters in some way, so it counts. And he tortures his child here, so it counts. So here we get an exterior shot. This is frankly a beautiful mansion that he lives in. You can see it's got a security gate out front, which is really, really nice. You can see up here that there's an upper balcony over the door, again with, this really nice alcove, double door entrance. Here he is going out to get his daughter. Here's a shot of the gate. You can see here that they live in what appears to be a really nice neighborhood. Like, you can see this is a very residential area. They've got a lot of privacy from all of these really tall plants, so they're not going to get a lot of sound or like peeping in for their neighbors. You want that privacy if you're evil and conducting evil business. Here's another shot where you can see the balcony a little bit. Here you can see that the hallways, they've got some good lighting on the inside. I know this hallway could use some decor, but there are clearly a lot of doors. So this is a very large mansion that they do live in. Here is a door that leads from their mansion down into the Deathbusters headquarters. You can sort of see that transition here, that this must be an out of the way hall because you've got a lot of exposed piping, which you would never see in the main part of the mansion. You just would not, it does not stylistically fit, but just here where that entrance is, you've got that exposed pipework. So this must be at a far wing of the mansion. And you can see that it does open directly down into his laboratory. So it's convenient if you are evil and you're living in your home trying to live a normal life as a normal dad, but you want to be able to immediately get to your evil schemes. You just go down the hall and walk through the door and you're there, you're working from home. Now we can see an interior area where they've actually furnished the home, and you can start to see here. So they've got this little pot with flowers in it. They've got a painting hung up. This is a nice fireplace here, which is a really great feature to have in a home. Here's a shot of a bedroom. This is Hotaru's bedroom. You can see that it's very large for a child's room. I mean, this would dwarf the average master bedroom in many homes. But her bed fits in here. She's got a chair for her creepy doll. She's got a vanity with a tuffet. She's got a painting hung up. She's got some sort of a curio cabinet and 5 million dim lights above. That appears to just be her taste. Here's a higher shot where you can see this building has more balconies to it. It's got several gables. There appears to be a further extension coming off of the back, which would make sense since we know that this does extend towards his evil lair in some way. So we know this building has a lot of size to it. We can see that they've got an intercom system. That's very nice. Now, it makes sense for a home of this size. If you're at the back of that house, you are not going to hear someone knocking on the doorbell, but it's a nice high-tech feature to have, is to be able to have that intercom system. Here's another shot of their main receiving room. You can see they've got some beautiful couches here, enough for people to sit. Again, they've hung up curtains, they've put up paintings, they have a nice coffee table. They've got some nice molding here along the ceiling. Just a really nicely furnished area. Candelabras, lots of paintings, vases. They've taken the time on this space. Look at that recessed ceiling. That's really quite a feature, and it appears to be painted a light green. This is a lovingly decorated house. Again, a shot of Hotaru's room. We can see that she's able to keep some personal mementos. She's got a little mirror here for, trying to make herself look less sickly, probably. Here's a shot of her bed. She's got 2 end tables and just so much room on either side. Again, a really spacious bedroom. You can see here what looks like fairly plush carpeting. I think that makes sense. And you can see as well that, like, clearly they have the ability to entertain guests and bring them, tea, coffee, whatever they might like to have. So this is a lived-in space. Somewhere in the house, they also have a television. She is sitting far too close to it, and she should have some lights on. Kids, do not try this at home. It's very bad for your eyesight, but they do have a television somewhere in the house. I wanted to make note of that. And again, here, this is after they've moved out. This is that same room with that beautiful recessed ceiling. You can see that fireplace here that we only got a glimpse of elsewhere, but really a nice feature to have a nice functional original fireplace like that for the home. A very spacious hallway. And again, you can see the sheer size of Hotaru's bedroom now that the furnishings are out of it. That's the Tomoe mansion. What do we think, fam?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because I do love the mansion. I do love the gated entrance. They the I do like the accessibility of the caller. I do like that secret lair, that secret doorway, that secret hallway that they can just go to and then be like, I'm gonna do some evil business while the family room, living room situation. To my taste, it's like too much green going on. Like there's just way too much green. Like they need to break that up, like different color. If it was a different color, it would have been fine. The ceiling is wonderful. Love the crown mold. I love all that. Now, Hotaru's room it screams comfort. It screams absolute comfort. It's dark. It has a lot of lamps, but I think the room is just way too big for a kid. It's just way too big. The curtains, they're fine, but I would give it a 4 out of 5 for sure. But what about you, Michi?
Yeah, probably 4 out of 5. I wish we could have seen the kitchen because I feel like this house has a banging kitchen.
Oh, it's got you just know it's got an incredible kitchen. Yeah, like I think this one probably comes in at a 5 out of 5 for me because I think that, like, I would probably also change the green out for a different color, but that's such an easy change to make, and this house has so much going for it. As someone who works from home, I love the convenience of this, to be able to just sort of like leave my house and be at work. So yeah, I would come in at a 5 for this one, but if you guys both landed a 4, then we average out to a 4, which is still a very strong score.
Yes, indeed.
So let's look at the Dead Moon Circus. There's not, there's pretty much just the one evil lair to look at here. There's a giant elephant statue where Zirconia kind of hangs out on this golden plinth. There's some circular platforms of various kinds and some sort of big green blobby gem happening back here. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. You can see that we've got some evil pillars. They look very spindly, like finger bones almost, but they are evil pillars. Here's a better shot of that elephant statue with also some sort of red frog maybe or lizard or something statue underneath of it. That's certainly a choice. Here again, we get a shot of these circular pillars. This is not very OSHA friendly, so I'm not a huge fan of the safety aspect here. We do, of course, have some more evil pillars and a mirror with which to commune with your evil queen. Again, we can see what looks like an evil marble flooring and some spikes in the background. More evil pillars. One can never have enough evil pillars. By the way, please enjoy my little cinema rolls that are where I couldn't find screenshots for things, I literally put in Blu-rays and took photos on my phone. So that's why you'll just see like there's no actual cinema roll in the evil lair, but there sure are some cinema rolls in front of my TV. Here's some exteriors on their evil lair, which is, of course, this big top circus. Now, I love the drama of it. I love how creepy and evil it looks. It is certainly not easy to hide. Like, this is a very visible evil lair. This is not a secret lair. This is not subtle. Here's another shot of the giant elephant. It's pretty much the only thing that their evil lair has to offer are some circular platforms, some evil pillars, and a big fuck off elephant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice.
It is a choice.
It's definitely a choice. But
what do you guys think?
I'm going to do a 1 out of 5 on this one because I'm just like, it's just too much going on. And it's just like, where's the seat? Like, there's only like maybe one seat. I don't know. It's like,
I don't know if there's any seats.
There's no seats. And it's like, you're not even hiding. You're just out there. Like, here I am. People going to look up like, that looks weird. All of the decor is all over the place. 1 out of 5 for me.
Michi, what do you think?
1 out of 5. It doesn't inspire. It's just really weird looking.
Yeah, this is a 1 of 5. They clearly spent their whole budget on the giant elephant, and they really didn't budget well for the rest of the lair. So they just have a giant elephant, and that feels like such a mistake. This is not a very functional lair. It's also not an attractive lair. It's also not a comfortable lair. This is a 1 for me.
1. Yeah. I think we all agree. For comments, before on the one we were at, Yolanda 20 said it's a fully furnished mansion, 5 out of 5.
Real.
Yes.
Yep, and then on this one, Yolanda 2020 says 1 out of 5. I'm noping out of this one. By the way, I think no one sees them if they don't have their powers. I think Usagi sees them.
True.
Yeah, the invisibility, like that is a useful feature, but what an ugly lair. And I feel like it's proven that it's an ugly lair because the next one we're going to look at is Queen Badiane's lair from the Super S movie, which has a very similar visual theming, but is a real step up.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we are in space. We open with this beautiful shot of these decorative candy-looking towers. Clearly, lots of these are windows, one assumes, which means this is a very, very large lair, very beautifully decorated. Importantly, there are places to park your snail boats. So you can see that they're descending into this area here. And as they fly in, they go to this designated parking area. That is very nice. Like you get your evil boats that get their own parking space. And directly from there, you can see how well decorated it is. It has this very gingerbread house feeling. The colors are very bright and inviting, really well lit space. And then you can see they each park, and then it directly lets all of your kidnapped children off of your boats and into your evil space where they are encouraged to run up because you've got this giant red carpet rolled out for them. Really smart design. And of course, if you also like putting each of your children into a little crystal coffin, We have as many crystal coffins as you could fit children in. So if you've ever wanted to kidnap a bunch of children and put them into like crystal stasis, this really provides for that. And what we're going to see later on is that actually this doubles as flooring, which is a really interesting design choice that I think is sort of revolutionary for your evil villain. You're really putting your hard work on display. Also, I love that one child appears to just have like leopard spotted pajamas. All right, so let's return to looking at the lair. So they do have an extensive tunnel system that people travel in, but even the tunnels you can see are sort of beautifully decorated. They have not missed the details in Badiane's lair. And though it's large, travel seems to be fast. Again, here's this floor that it's very reflective. You would think again that it must be marble. This is, of course, the crystal coffins with children in them. But this is Badiane's room where she appears to conduct her evil business. Her grand throne is massive, as is she is a giant woman. But the room suits her. It's got this sort of domed shape to it. I love the color palette that she has going on. I think, again, that she really is into decor. Here's an overhead view of her lair. And again, you can see it's very large. The color scheme is really pleasant. It has that candy feel to it. Everything is very sparkly and shiny. And you can see it sort of disguises itself in the clouds, which is a nice cloaking feature. Here you can see that there's also extensive security. You can see this explosion coming from on the wall. And that is actually, they have cannons that can be loaded with full-sized cannonballs and fired at any intruders who attempt to board your evil lair without your permission. So a real positive defensive feature, really actively taking charge of defenses. Now, this is maybe an OSHA issue. You can see that after this boat was fired upon, it then did nearly fall into this giant death pit. And I don't love evil death pits that don't have railings to them. So I think a railing would have been a nice touch here. But again, sometimes you just have a death pit. There's another shot of it. Here you can see that again, transportation is very convenient. They literally can just open a hole in the floor and transport down through there. Here's another tunnel. Again, really no detail has been spared. The tunnels are very decorative, very colorful. Even when you're moving through a transitional space, you're really enjoying the view. It's very Willy Wonka. Again, another shot of Badiane's chambers, their purple theme. Back to the child coffins. And then you can see that the top of the fortress does have this convertible flower that opens up onto the sky for if you need to summon a giant black hole from the middle of your fortress and, inflict harm upon the world. That is a thing that this evil fortress can do. So there it is. You can see this sort of spider-looking place from which you can view your black hole manifesting. I feel like that is a feature if you're evil. And then you can see here's the fully formed black hole underneath what's our nice exterior shot of the evil fortress. Here's an overhead shot, again, very dramatic. And I mean, if your black hole fails, your fortress may then crumble into dust. But, I feel like that's a risk of having an evil fortress in space. So that is Badiane's fortress. How do we feel about this one?
A 4 out of 5, actually, for this one, because it fits the theme of Badiane. And also, I love the snails. I don't know what it is, but I love the snails with the parking space because there's not a lot of places where you can park, like your transportation and like the red carpet, like the red carpet. And then, yes, it's like Winnie Wonka vibes throughout the tunnels and everything, and that you can create a black hole whenever you want to, which is like kind of badass. But the one thing there's like two things. The glass, like the crystals with the kids in it, I just don't no. That's just no. And then there's no railing with the death pit. Like there needs to be some type of bridge, like some more bridges or something. Like it just don't, So I would just say 4 out of 5 for this.
Michi, what do you think? Evil Lair.
It's like the Star Wars base meets Candyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving it 5 out of 5. I love a theme.
Yeah, I weirdly, this is kind of a 5 out of 5 for me. I think that there's a couple things I love about it. One of them is I love that this is an evil lair with like bright lighting and happy colors. That is so unnerving, so jarring. I also really would like to be in a brightly lit space. I don't like to be in the dark. I'd be squinting all the time. So I like that it's so brightly lit, but I also think it's very effectively evil in that sense. And I like that a lot of times when you're looking at the scale of this space, you're reminded that this was designed for a giant woman and not for a bunch of small humans. Like, look at the size of these stairs compared to the size of the people walking on them. Those stairs are monstrous, even though there's only 4 of them. This entire space is monstrous. And I really like the attention to detail of making this, sized for a giant woman. I love this space. It's so weird, but it's a 5 from me.
That's
Yeah, I think then we end on a 5.
Yeah. Frankly, it's what the Dead Moon Circus should have done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Olodic 2020 says 3 out of 5. I like it as an evil lair, but I wouldn't want it fair.
I mean,
True.
fair. Absolutely.
And it's a lot of stuff.
Very fair. That's a lot. That's a lot of color. That's a lot of colors all over the place.
We get some shots of Nehelenia's evil lair from Nehelenia Arc of Stars when she had her own separate evil lair. So there's a few things to talk about here. We don't have much of an interior space, but she does have this little throne area. She's got this big throne, little elephants. So the elephant theme has been really scaled back to focus on the spider web theme. That feels more cohesive for her and for the fact that she's lured in her enemies here. You can see that there's a place to keep your kidnapped boy toy and just a really nice, comfortable throne for you to sit in and taunt your enemies. Looks like a nice marble flooring. Now, her evil castle is at the top of this long walkway, so it's there to sort of taunt your enemies from a distance. But don't worry, it's not too easy to get to because you have to go up so many stairs, and those stairs will be covered with thorny vines. So, again, a real security feature. You really make them work for it. Again, you can keep your kidnapped, brainwashed boy toy right by your throne. And here is another shot of that throne room. You can see we've got some evil pillars, just in case you were worried that there weren't going to be any. I'm going to draw your attention to the pattern on the floor, but we will look at a better shot of that where you can sort of get a better idea of the vibe because I love it. Again, here's the thorns that your enemies are going to have to climb through, and there's no railing on here. They will fall to their deaths, which is, what you want to happen. Here you can see some evil pillars. We've got more spider webs going, and we've got a nice mirror over the door here. Nehelenia loves her mirrors, and I think it's a statement. The lighting is not very great in this room. Here's a great shot of the flooring. I love this shot because you can see that the floor tiles are actually also in a nice spider web pattern, which is very perfect for her theme. She's really leaned into her spider web vibes for this arc. And I love that for her. Such a great shot to show that little detail. Here you can see that she's done some more decorating. And so in between the evil pillars, she's now got little mirrors for all of the people that she's captured. I think that, it's nice to put up some decorations. And I think it shows that an investment in the space. However, there does appear to be a lot of battle damage, and that would be an ongoing structural concern for me. Here we can see that when the space actually has some natural lighting, the colors are more inviting. So these pillars are sort of this nice pale pink. And then the walls have a real pale gray, almost a bluish tone to them. Again, at this point, it's got a lot of structural damage. So that would be a real issue for your evil lair. But that's Nehelenia's evil lair. What do we think about this one?
1 out of 5.
I will give it a 2 out of 5. The only reason why I will give it a 2, I do like the I like the spider web floor. I do like that. Okay, it matches who she is. But I do not like that walk. I do not want to walk in no thorns. I don't want to walk in that mess. It's just too long. But
great news. She can float there.
Oh, but for anybody else, no. Like it's
sure.
It's not happening. Like
Yep.
And then the chair, the chair is cool. Don't get me wrong, the chair is cool, but it's like you're gonna sleep on that chair. Ugh, like you got no bed, you got no toilet. Like, what's happening? Like it's just gonna be a 2 out of 5 for me, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'd come in at a 2 out of 5 because I don't think I would rate this one lower than Beryl's lair. I think it looks a lot cleaner as far as, not being covered in dirt, and her throne looks slightly more comfortable than Beryl's throne. And otherwise, they are sort of much of a muchness for me. Again, real struggle with the lighting, a real lack of decor. So I think I would hit this one with a 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, then we averaged a 2.
All
Yep.
right.
2.
And Yolanda has some comments on this one.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. You want to read?
Yep. So we've got stairs and thorny vines, real fairy tale vibes. You are not at all incorrect. Fairy tales are very much the theme of Nehelenia's Stars arc. Several of them are directly referenced, and obviously, with the thorns on the stairs, that's obviously going to be a direct call to Sleeping Beauty, which is one of her main fairy tale themes. So yes, you are spot on.
Mhm.
Dark layers don't bother me. I'll add in lamps. You're so fair.
Yep, and then 3 out of 5. Again, nice for an evil lair, but I don't want it. So
Yep.
fair.
Yep.
True.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
You want to take this one?
I'll take the dirt to hang out with the pocket rocks. Yo.
That's so fair.
True.
That's
All right,
funny.
so let's talk about, in the 90s anime, Galaxia's evil lair. So there isn't much to write home about. She has a throne. It's got this sort of dual swan looking motif with a sort of a crystal backboard. And she sits in her throne. It's all crystal and gold on a small gold platform. And then everything else is just space. There's flooring, so there's some sort of a grout between space, but that's it. This is all you get.
Damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's bad. Damn.
Like
I have to
it's a
do.
1 for me.
That's a
I don't
1
want
out
to
of
sit on that.
5.
I
I
don't want to
can't.
sit on that throne. It looks
Hell
so
no.
uncomfortable.
And
1 out of 5.
you're sitting on glass. Like seriously, you're sitting on glass.
I know. Now she's gonna do much better in Cosmos. She
Yeah,
will.
but
She
it's
has
still
some actual
it's a
stuff
1 out
up
of
there,
5.
but like this is
Like,
such a
no.
1. Fully go girl, give us absolutely nothing.
Mm.
1 out of 5. Can I get a cushion, please? Okay, so I've divided this up sort of into 4 separate evil lairs for the Cosmos movie, because this is sort of where we're seeing the biggest difference between the crystal versus the prior ones. So I did want to piece these out.
Okay.
So the first one, these are the river twins, and this is the evil domain of Lethe and Mnemosyne. So you can see some parts of it are quite nice. We've got this beautiful underwater area where they can exist breathing comfortably. So it doesn't appear to be real water, or if it is, it's fully breathable by anyone. There's also a sandy area with just a lot of sand. And then on that river of sand, you have Charon the boatman just there to drive them. So there is one dead tree. So if you like scenery and nature, there's one dead tree, if that's your thing. And then there's some more dead trees and some twisted stone sand pillars on either side of the sand river. Nice view onto space. The look at the stars is quite nice. The actual water river of the 2 rivers does have some cyclones in it. So if you like whitewater rafting, that might be fun for you. Again, we're underwater, and it does look like in their underwater space, you have a swing set. So that's kind of fun. That's a little something to do, an activity. Here we're on the shoreline. Again, this is a very barren area. There's a few little scrubs of grass trying to grow here and there, and those really twisted rock pillars. Another shot of that. And here you can sort of see the 2 rivers next to each other, one of which is this really pretty teal color and one of which is this beautiful pink. They didn't look like that when we were riding on them and it was that sand color, but from here it looks quite beautiful. So that's what they have to offer, the River Twins.
I had to do a 1 out of 5 on this one because I'm sorry. I see I see a green leaper. That's enough for me. I'll just turn right back around. Like I just know the dead tree, like the water. I'm like, there's 2 different rivers. I'm just like, no. There's no, like, there is literally no furniture except the boat, but that don't mean don't do nothing for me. It just doesn't do nothing for me.
Michi, what do you think?
It's boring. It's like a 2 out of 5 because it's really pretty skyline, but like overall, it's just a really boring looking place. The rivers are the highlight.
Yeah. So here's my concern from a practicality standpoint, is that it's very concerning to me when you are on the banks of a river and you see this much dead vegetation. That makes me really concerned about the water quality.
Right. Yeah.
Like if the trees are right there and they cannot thrive, I'm very concerned about that water. So I could go either a 1 or a 2. There's not much else to offer. Like this one swing set is not exactly turning it around for me. I think I would have to go to the drawing board on this one with a 1.
Yeah.
All right, so we averaged to a 1.
Yep. 1.
Yeah, because even Yolanda 2020 says 1 out of 5, if for no other reason than saying it's everywhere.
Yes.
It's a 1.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Papillon. So her evil lair, it is all about the vibes because her evil lair is literally a graveyard. There's graves, there's dirt. Nothing grows here. It is not a happy place. It's full of an evil, spooky fog. And they have graves for your friends that they immediately went to work carving out for them. I like the detail there. It's very impressively scary. And they have graves for you that they've pre-prepared. She has grave diggers whose job is just to dig graves for her enemies.
She's got style.
Also, if you need to, you can again crucify your enemies with thorny vines just for decoration. More graves. Some of these are very aged. You can see they're really crumbling. So she's been doing this for a while. But she does also have beautiful butterflies and the beautiful starry sky. So it is quite striking. Yeah, so that's Papillon and her graveyard. What do you think?
I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 just because I like the butterflies. But I don't know, like that graveyard, like there's no seating. Like, where's the bench? Like, I need to sit somewhere or something. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it's that's a lot of maintenance, but like, and dirt. And I'm like, no, just 2 out of 5 for me, for sure.
Probably a 1 out of 5. I appreciate the theming, but it's not my vibe, and the butterflies are pretty.
Yeah, I could kind of go anywhere between a 1 and a 3 here. Like, I think that as far as vibes go, immaculate. Like, nothing says evil intimidation like having headstones prepared for your enemies that are being dug by like your faceless hooded figures that already have their faces carved onto them. But at the same time, it has little other function as far as an evil lair, and it's certainly not residential, and it does look like dirt would get on you. Yeah. I could go like a 1 on this one. I'm fine with that.
Okay, 1 it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Yolanda 2020 says 1 out of 5. Do not want. Fair.
I will. Yeah.
Now, this is an interesting one because the Star Gardeners don't necessarily have per se their own evil domain so much as their evil domain is like Galaxia's front yard. Some of the things you see, like you can see them here with Galaxia's big Star Gardener star and her evil pillars. That's sort of more Galaxia's thing. Here you can see the exterior of her house, but in the front you can see the Star Garden and you can sort of see these spikes that are the various crystals that they garden with their evil gardening. And here's the gorgeous facade of Galaxia's evil mega mansion. Here's the Star Garden again. You can see their stars are just kind of chilling. Again, this is an outdoor evil domain. There's really no interior, sort of a dirt pathway. The sky looks very beautiful. Here's another shot of the exterior of the Mega Mansion, which is very beautiful. The stars again in their garden. They look like the little spiny guys that you find in the ocean that you don't want to step on. Sea urchins, I want to say. Again, an exterior shot. Arguable whether you consider this to be more their domain or more Galaxia's. But it is very dramatic and very covered with spiky crystals. So what do you think of the Star Gardener's Star Garden?
It's like they took Nephrite's idea and improved upon it.
Pretty much. Outside it's just gorgeous. And then that room, just that room with all those like the outside of those steps are just like grand. Reminds me of like Greek, really, really like open and also like all the pillars match, which is great. It's just
They do.
like,
They
and
do.
I'm just like, I love the stars and stuff, and it's really, really like top notch. I'll probably give it a 5 out of 5 for this one, for sure.
So I'm going to come in much lower on this one. I'm going to give this one about a 3. And the reason is because a lot of the things that I like best about this are more Galaxia's domain, and we'll see them in the next panel. Whereas the parts that I ascribe to the Star Gardeners are sort of more exterior, and it's a big dirt field with some sparkly sparkles in it. Like, I think there's potential here to work with this outdoor garden. But I don't like, they don't have like, there's very little utility to this space that they use, and it's not very comfortable or livable on the exterior of the house. So I have to dock it points for that. Michi, what do you think?
I'm torn.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I mean, it's really pretty, but it's kind of barren. I don't know. Where are we aiming, leaving on? Where are you two?
Lady Chapell was on a 5. I was on a 3.
I'll go with 4.
Okay, so we're averaging 4.
There you go.
You made that easy.
Yeah.
Yep, I was thinking, I'm like, eh.
And last, but certainly not least, we have the domain of the Golden Queen herself, Galaxia. Now, if you have ever thought, evil pillars are nice, but I need even more evil pillars than that, prepare yourself. But first, let's have a look at Galaxia's evil bedroom. Now, this is a dramatic space because she's got what is clearly a king-size bed, so many pillows, but you can see that she sleeps in the middle of it. She's not sharing this bed with anyone. Beautiful headboard. Where did she get that? Beautiful end table with like water for herself to drink and maybe a little bit of liquor as well, depending on how she's feeling when she wakes up. Pristine white sheets, beautiful, beautiful stone flooring that looks very, very clean, and just space in all directions. You can see she's got flowers here. That's a nice decorative element. It's nice to see a soft touch in this space that's otherwise very colorless. It brings a bit of warmth and life to it. So this is her bedroom. It's nice to see a shot of her, at rest. And then what do we have here? Pillars. Let me try and count the pillars that you can see just in the scene. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are 18 pillars just right here. This does not even scratch the surface of the number of evil pillars that this woman has in her beautiful evil palace. Clearly marble. Everything is marble in her home. You can see the striations in the stone. It's very, very lovely. It's not overly shiny. It's got a softness to the texture. Here she's got this big old fuck off crystal in the middle of her pillar hallway. And that's where she stores her star seeds. Again, a lot of evil pillars. Even more evil pillars. And these are very beautifully, ornately carved. Even on the ceiling and these arches, you can see a lot of carving that's gone into every single one of these. You can see the implication of the second floor hallways up here. We know that this is like a 8-story mansion based on the exterior shots that we've seen of it, and just pillars that go on forever. Here again, this is more pillars than I care to count on either side, but you can see again the decorative elements that she's put into the sides of this walkway here that really just add a really high-end touch to it. Here are the lower parts of a golden stand for some sort of thingy that she has that she keeps stuff in. I didn't get a better shot of it. I apologize. Here's a big old mirror / communication doorway that the Star Gardeners can use to commune with her. It probably just kind of gives them a look into her bedroom. But again, evil columns just as far as the eye can see. Here we can see some tapestry patterns. So she's got some really beautiful curtains that have lots of different fabric patterns here. These look like a nice jacquard here. You've got some colored contrast embroidery, really nice dagged edging to these curtains. That's very nice, and that trim is really nice on them. And here's a second curtain that you can see here. It's got some tassels attached to it, just some really nice decor elements. You can see there's some sort of other decor element happening underneath of there. Here is an unusual semi-exterior, semi-interior shot of the building where you can see the scale of it. You've got these little tiny windows all over the place, the starseeds of the people she's recently killed, and so many evil columns that they fade off into the black of distance. Just again, this appears to be a walkway where people can pass by, a really, really large space in which she's just got a hallway of columns that looks out onto space in either direction. But you can see sort of the scale of it here and the size of each of those individual columns. And then some really, really decorative carving into each of these rectangular columns that you can see all around Sailor Moon here. Shouldn't have to go to the effort, but she did. She got some nice decor. Columns forever. What's that? Is that more columns? It's more columns, and also some sort of a security system. We never want to overlook the usefulness of having some proper evil lair security. What could that be? Is it more columns? It's more columns. You didn't know that there was a hallway of columns that leads to her other hallway of columns, but that's just how it is. Again, you can see that this hallway of columns really just goes on forever. And again, some defenses. Here's that pretty crystal that she has, which I think is a nice lighting feature and a nice decorative element. I would be pleased to have this in my evil lair because I think it is very beautiful. Some evil columns that lead to an archway to nowhere. Sometimes you just want to have an archway to nowhere in your home. Even more evil columns. And then, of course, a beautiful natural back deck that leads onto a cauldron of fomenting life. Who wouldn't want one of those?
Mm-hmm.
Here you can look onto the birthplace of all souls and stars in the world and admire it at your leisure. There is no railing, so you do have to be a bit cautious about that because she might summon your boyfriend and just dump him into the cauldron of souls. It is a concern. Also, your cauldron of souls may contain a giant evil chaos entity that might look at you with creepy eyes. So that's a bit of a concern because sometimes it does get corrupted. Just something to be mindful of. And it also might spout forth like a geyser. Just, just everyday concerns. And again, there's the exterior of her beautiful, evil mega mansion. So, my darlings, how do we feel about Galaxia's mega mansion?
This is gonna be probably a hard one because I'm like in between a 4 and a 5 because what it is like I probably have to give a 4. The only reason why is I am that's creepy eyes thing. It's like, and you got no railing. It reminds me of the Avengers with the soul stone, and it just like whoop, like I'm just gonna one full step and bam, you gone. And I'm like, I need a rail. I need like something to like. I need a glass, something to protect me. But everything else, the columns, the Gothic architecture of this thing is just immaculate. Like it's the stone wall, and I love the bed. I'm telling you, like that's like the best bed ever. Like, I'm sorry, like no side piece. It's not gonna even get touched in this bed at all. Like this is just so much better. I love the flowers, the crystals and stuff, but I still have to give it a 4 out of 5 though. So that's for me. What about you, Michi?
Column out of 5.
Column out of 5, so real.
Because if I was taking a shot every time you said column, I'd be fucked up.
It is the main design element.
Yep, so I don't know. I really like it. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, so this is a hard one for me because I'm having to infer a lot, but I did that with Nephrite's mansion as well. So I'm really taking a lot of information from her bedroom here, which is that I know that like not only does she have a functional livable space here in which she prizes comfort and beauty, she also has flowers here, and that shows me that she cares about decoration as well as functional comfort. And so I have to assume based on that room a lot about the other rooms because we don't see the other rooms here. We see a beautiful curtain, which again tells me she cares about decor and about comfort and privacy. And then the only other thing we have to go based off of is this exterior. And this exterior tells me that there's a lot more than just an endless hallway of pillars that leads onto another endless hallway of pillars. There's other rooms here. And I'm choosing to assume that there are other rooms in this house that are probably nicely furnished with some degree of decor. Now, I don't think there's any couches for anyone to sit on because she will not be having guests. She doesn't need anyone else to be able to sit, but I do think that it probably has the amenities that she needs to live comfortably. So it's hard. I don't know that I would want this as my evil lair as much as I would just want Nephrite's mansion. But at the same time, like, I kind of love it. Like, I don't hate giving it a 5. But if we're on 4, 4, and 5, then we land on 4, and that works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So then 4 out of 5?
I think what we've learned here is that Nephrite had the right idea about evil lairs. And
Back in
yep,
season
back
1.
in season
Yes.
1. And like he did it without making a big deal out of the fact that he was doing it. He just had a beautiful mansion. So we love that for
Yep.
him.
We do. And I think for Galaxia's mansion, like you make a wrong turn, you're done. But it's
You're probably
like
lost.
she designed it that way. Like take one wrong turn and you're gone.
And Yolanda C 2020 also voted 4 out of 5. Love that bed. I think we
Mhm.
all that one shot of her bedroom is so influential for all of our scores.
Yes.
Oh, so much.
I love it.
All right.
I love it. Yes. This
I think it is time to end it.
Yes.
And with that, we come to the end of our show. This is the second half of the 3rd episode of season 5. Now, April is going to be a really special month on the channel, so please do join us again next month. On Saturday, April 4th, we'll be discussing the wonderful Deek Dub music with special guests, the Music Kitchen's Michael Berbengiat and John Miyagi author. They wrote some of your favorite English songs, Power of Love, Carry On, My Only Love. Absolutely, like those iconic songs that we adore so much. We're going to get to talk to them and we are thrilled. We were really glad that we could bring you this month's episode. And if you enjoyed the show tonight and you want to see more, please follow us on our socials. All of those links are going to be in the link tree in our description. Previous episodes of Eternal Mooncast are all available on YouTube. Remember to subscribe and think about hitting that bell to receive our notifications so you get more content like this. It would really help YouTube to make sure that we can keep growing our little community by telling the algorithm that, hey, people like us. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us all the way to the bitter end. I have been your co-host, Relia. My most common socials are going to be popping up on the screen below. If you like what I do, come follow me somewhere, chat with me. All the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Lady Chapell, I think.
Yes. You can follow me on Instagram at lady-chapell.cosplay, Facebook of the same name. If you want to follow me on my photography journey, it is Lady Chapell Photography LLC on Instagram. And also we have, if you love K-pop, X-pop, or global pop, come on over to K-pop Voyage on YouTube. We also just opened a Patreon. So if you want, we have a free video and it is on Cat's Eye. So if you want to watch, come on by and listen to us because we love K-pop and more.
Yes. All right. In addition to Eternal Mooncast, you can also find episodes of our sister show, Bishoujo Senshi Slumber Party. On BSSP, we're currently watching the 90s English coverway dub of Sailor Moon and reacting to that. For watch-along reactions, our entire Patreon backlog is up for free. And we get together every month for a live stream to discuss where we talk about what worked, what didn't, and which monster of the week we'd smash or pass. Our next episode of BSSP is airing tomorrow, March 14th. We'll be discussing the Sailor Saturn arc of episodes 111 to 115. As always, I have been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21, _cosplay. Likes, comments, and follows are some of the best ways to show your support for the show. We love reading all your comments on YouTube. As a quick reminder, these have just been our personal opinions, and we celebrate all respectful Moonie opinions here. We're working hard on the show to be a place for Moonies to come together to discuss their theories, for their love and passion for Sailor Moon.